Hey everyone. As you can see, due to lack of chat and current viewers, should be over there, this is being recorded offline. I wanted to touch base and just say to everybody who is aware, I wanted to say Happy Non-Binary Awareness Week. I think it's really important to bring these things up, and I think it's good to celebrate these awarenesses because these are the lives of very real people, and these are the lives of people like myself or my partner or my child who experience gender in a much more fluid or perhaps much more complex way. And I think that their experiences are valid and real. And so I just want people to be aware of their existence. And I would highly recommend that if you're interested to go look at, probably try to put it somewhere around here, maybe, some of the videos that we've done on this, including discussing non-binary people as trans and neopronouns as a way to deconstruct binary gender. On this channel before, I've argued that non-binary people are transgender, and this has been met with mixed results. There are many non-binary people who felt really, really validated and really included in a way that, unfortunately, a lot of conservative trans YouTubers have made them feel distant and not real, either with terms that are derogatory, such as trans trenders, or too cute, or any of this other bullshit. To me, I think it's important to be as inclusive as possible. And I think that we have to get clear on terms. For this channel, the definition we are using is transgender is defined as a person who has dissonance with their assigned gender at birth. That's it. Not dysphoria. This isn't a trans men argument. Fuck that shit. Dissonance. That is, you are not resonant with your assigned gender at birth, which leaves an incredibly open amount of possibility and understanding as far as what gender can be, or even more interestingly, could be. From my perspective, gender dysphoria exists and seems to be hit or miss in trans people, partially because I think gender dysphoria as a pathology comes up as a way in which we are psychologically damaged by not living as our true selves, whether that identity is binary or non-binary. Non-binary identities are valid. No matter how many times people like Calvin Guerra or Blair White or Rose at Dawn say otherwise, the simple fact of the matter is they are incorrect, not just on a values level. I mean, they are actively selling out members of their community for clicks, but on a very factual level, this is already sort of decided science, and non-binary people need to be treated with respect and care. One of the things I've tried to be very clear about on this channel is the idea that it is okay for a non-binary person to not personally identify as transgender while still being under the transgender umbrella. And the reason for that is for political and social solidarity, while also acknowledging and respecting people's personal identities. I think this is a fair compromise. I want a united trans umbrella working towards a greater whole. There are things in this community, my community and the greater trans community, that I want to see changed. For example, the ways in which we attack our own, the ways in which we tear down our figureheads, the ways in which non-binary identities get silenced or are not necessarily treated as well as they could be. I am a non-binary trans woman. For those who don't know what that means that I experience myself primarily and majoritarily as a woman. However, there are parts of me that don't quite fit into that ideal, let alone a binary. And I use certain pronouns to be able to describe that experience. I use certain story and narrative to describe that experience as an analogy. As someone who was a binary trans person and then later became non-binary or later identified as non-binary, I know what it's like on both sides, and I know what it's like to struggle when you're just trying to inhabit an identity and be accepted for who you are as a binary person. But we have to break this cycle of throwing non-binary people under the bus. We just do. Out of all of us, non-binary people are probably some of the most vulnerable. While they may not necessarily get the same level of aggression that, say, trans women do, or necessarily the same level of invalidation that, say, trans men do, their plight is different in the sense that it comes from invisibility, because it's not that they're trying to inhabit a gender that is pre-existing in society culturally. It's that they inhabit an identity that is wholly unique to them. And historically and academically and medically, all of these things support those identities. But the problem is, and this is the reality, is that our society as it's set up right now lets a lot of people down. So I just want to offer anyone out there who's non-binary that I hope people this week take an opportunity to hear you out and understand your experiences. I hope on this channel that you can find an opportunity to learn and grow and try to improve your mental health as much as possible. And I hope, even if we disagree on some certain ways of framing the trans experience, that we can continue to work together to make this a place that's home for every trans person, binary or non-binary. So yeah, hug a non-binary person you know, consensually, my deal. But please take them into consideration. They matter. Matter a lot, as a matter of fact. The last thing I'll say on this is that there's people out there who I mentioned earlier who will say that non-binary people are doing this for attention or to be in some way, shape, or form to stand out. And I can tell you very clearly that this is just not the case, either from a therapeutic perspective with the clients that I've worked with, or in regards to just personal experiences with people who are non-binary besides myself. The idea that someone would do this just for attention is laughable for two reasons. The first being is that nobody comes to that awareness about their gender, and nobody comes to that awareness that they may not be their assigned gender in an easy way. It's something that is a process of introspection and intuition that we all have to go through. The other reason is that it's a false premise from the beginning. Even if someone did come out as trans or non-binary, or however you want to phrase it, for the purposes of, I guess, attention, why is that a problem? Seriously, why is that a problem? One of the things that I think is really demonized, especially by transphobes, because I think it's a convenient argument similar to the way religion is used, is that there's this demonization of attention, when in reality, attention is necessary for us to live. Humans don't work well in solitude. Solitary confinement does demonstrable harm to people, right? Babies who aren't held and cared for in the youth don't really survive. Humans need connection. They need attention. And attention is lots of things. It can be care, it can be support, it can be acknowledgement, it can be validation. And so I guess I just say this is that on this channel going forward, I think me and Zena are agreed on this, and that is I would like to stop demonizing attention. Because I think if we can do that, I think it takes away an argument from the people who have made a bizarre devil's bargain, hoping that cis society will support them, when in reality, they just look at them as the convenient freak, right? And I guess I ask all binary trans people that if you're unclear on non-binary identities, talk to people. Talk to me. I'm fairly active in our Discord. But I'd also say that to some degree, be careful with your line of thinking. Because the problem is that your line of thinking doesn't come from a good faith place. It comes from the similar transphobia that you internally feel about yourself and towards others. And it comes from a place in which maybe if you can point out the freaks or the people that are not the real transes, then maybe you'll be accepted just a little bit more. But the problem is that the people that are politically against us do not care. They will use what tools and tokens they can to make a point, and then inevitably, if we fall into fascism, they'll just be the last ones in the pit. Non-binary awareness is important. We cannot let these people be invisible. So to all non-binary viewers, you are loved, you are supported, and even if we disagree on certain ways of framing things, please know that your identity is valid. Okay? So I love you all, and yeah, see you in the next one. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. You can also ring the bell if you want to be notified of our videos. If you want to help the channel, you can donate at streamlabs.com/transgirltherapist/tip. You also can become a patron at patreon.com/transgirltherapist. For as low as $3, you can support our channel. Thanks for watching.